Welcome back to another episode of Let's Commiserate. I'm your Star Wars loving host, Dave.
And I'm your life-loving host, Sam. See how I just completely...
Well, Star Wars is life, so really, we're the same. We're the same.
Yeah. I want to talk about how much since the pandemic, I really hate going into grocery stores because we had gotten so accustomed during pandemic lockdown to, whatever it was, Instacart, DoorDash, whatever you did. And now my anxiety spikes through the roof when I enter a grocery store. It's horrible. Nobody knows how to walk around, navigate, not block each other, let each other go. Who's going to wait? I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. So I like to just go in, get what I need, and get out. And the thing that takes me the longest to find is choosing what coffee I'm going to get. So I overthink it to the extreme because I've been getting into making more pour over coffee these days and looking for single origin whole bean. Not because I'm a coffee connoisseur. I'm really not. I'm not a coffee snob. I just know that from what I've read and researched, single origin whole bean is what's going to produce the best pour over coffee. That is surprisingly very difficult to find in stores. And I'm not exaggerating at all. I will spend 10 minutes in the coffee aisle just looking for coffee beans.
Do you go to the same store? Do you go to different stores every time you go out to shop?
No, I don't go to different stores every time I go out to shop, but depending on where I'm shopping.
Then why are you spending 10 minutes?
Because I'm overthinking it to the extreme. And so I get frustrated, but I know that
you're overthinking. Like you have a preferred brand of coffee.
I'm still finding
this store carries.
No, I'm still trying to discover what is my preferred brand of coffee for pour over coffee. And so
it's Maxwell House. It's good to the last drop.
Right. Well, I don't know. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I'm just kidding. No, Maxwell House is terrible coffee, but they just have really good advertising. Right. No. So what was that? What was that brand you?
I've basically been getting a different brand every time. And, so I will take, that's exactly how long it will take. So because I take so long, that just spikes my anxiety even more. However, I was blessed yesterday by a very entertaining experience while looking at the coffee and deciding which one to get.
Whilst looking at the coffee.
So I'm in the coffee aisle and there's this elderly couple also picking out coffee, and they are true Brooklyn, New Yorkers through and through. I can tell by the accents. And the wife is standing by while the husband is choosing the coffee. And I forget what his name was. I'm pretty sure it was Paul. And I'm not exaggerating at all when I do this woman's voice. I promise you. So he's looking at coffee.
I would trust Sam. His memory and his voice impersonation skills are usually pretty spot on.
So next to the coffee, this is just in ShopRite. And there's coffee mugs that you can buy in ShopRite, apparently now. And so this woman, she picks up one of the mugs that's for sale, and it's from Yellowstone National Park. Why is that being sold in a New York grocery store? I'm not sure. But anyway, she picks it up, and she's talking to her husband, who has a hearing aid. She picks it up. She says, Paul. And he's like, what? And she's like, look at this mug. And he's like, yeah? And she's like, it's from Yellowstone. Okay. And she's just staring at him, and he goes, what? You want to buy it? And she goes, I'm not spending $5 on a coffee mug. I drink mine out of styrofoam. And she puts it down and they walk away.
That is the most Brooklyn thing I've heard all day.
He's annoyed. He's like, okay, why are you showing me?
I love this couple.
Oh, that was like, that's
what? What do you want?
Yeah.
Talk, woman.
Like, that's the couple I want to hang out with and have coffee with. But anyway, that was.
I would love to go get a cup of styrofoam coffee with Paul and Paul's wife.
Let's call her Martha. I don't know.
Martha, Paul and Martha.
Paul and Martha. Such biblical names, but yeah.
That's a really good commiseration.
That was good. Yeah, I was blessed for my overthinking when picking out coffee.
Because you spend all your time trying to get the coffee that you happen to be chanced upon by this couple.
So, and this is the worst part of it all. I eventually just gave up and did not pick out any coffee.
You didn't even... You.
So I went home but then Samantha came home and she said, I got a surprise for you. And she had gone to Adam's on her way home and got me a bag of organic whole bean coffee beans from Nicaragua because she knows that I like those ones. I was like, your timing could not have been better because I literally gave up trying to pick out coffee at the store earlier today. So that was nice.
That's good. I'm glad that she did that for you. Because you need coffee. The worst is when you wake up early in the morning and like you shuffle to the kitchen and you set up the coffee pot and you're like getting everything ready. You get the filter and then you go to grab the coffee grounds and it's empty. And then you go to like the container that has the coffee beans and the beans are empty. And you're like, God, what is my life?
Yeah.
I don't have anything.
I'm really trying to stay ahead of the game and replenish my coffee before my current batch runs out because I do not want to fall in that situation. It is the worst.
It's a bad situation to be found in.
Anywho, Dave, how you doing?
I'm good. It's been a good day. I got a haircut today. So
look at you. Nice. If you are not watching on video right now, folks, boy, are you missing out on Dave's fresh cut.
Look at this loveliness right now. Yeah. So we're.
Oh wow, he just did 3 hair flips. It's amazing.
We're doing a virtual recording tonight, so it was fun. I got to break out the old green screen today, and I actually have a couple of fun treats for some of our viewers.
If you are being kind enough to watch on video, you are going to be rewarded.
Spotify, or I'm not sure what streaming services use video. All of them,
Spotify. All of our episodes are available in video format on Spotify and, of course, YouTube. And you'll see clips on our socials. But, yeah, for the most part, audio is what you're going to be experiencing. I can't wait to see what treats you have in store for us.
I only have a few, so it'll be
okay. Cool. Well, they better be really good because you've hyped them up. And
they're great.
Yeah. And the reason we are recording virtually is because this is the only way we can keep up with recapping the Maul Shadow Lord series. And so,
which has been a surprising highlight in the recent Star Wars release schedule. I didn't realize today, I think we talked about this, I didn't realize their release schedule. Like I have it in my calendar and stuff, but I didn't know they were going to be doing 2 episodes per release day.
Yeah, that caught me by surprise.
So it was a little jarring.
I finished watching episode 3 and I said, all right, let's do it. Let's record. And you said, oh, I haven't watched the 4th episode. I said, a 4th episode?
There's a 4th?
There's a 4th? Yeah. So here we are. Before we get into our recap, let's take a quick break. And when we get back, we're going to dive right into it.
So my one surprise, now that we're back, is because we're doing the Maul series, and I have this fantastic green screen, and I figured, what should I put in the background? I was like, oh, I remember that one art project I did during high school. Let me not describe it to you. Let me just show it to you. There you go. How does that look?
Well done. Wow.
Right.
That is very, very nice.
I'm just going to leave this guy up here for the rest of the episode because that's what we're talking about.
Yes.
For those that are listening in,
that is
just like a stylized graphic of Darth Maul.
Yeah. If you can't see, how old were you when you did this?
15.
Nah, that is very impressive. Now, was that was that freehand or like traced to a degree or?
No, that I think I used
Illustrator. No disrespect either way, because I could never do this.
Photoshop. I think I used Illustrator.
Nice.
At that point, I was more of a Photoshop guy. And then like vector graphics and stuff. I was trying to get more into the the vector graphics and stuff, which is just a completely different animal.
It's a lot.
This was one of my pet projects, and it turned out okay.
Yep.
I never became proficient in Illustrator,
but I like
I
like how you stylized the L, and how the horns I think are intentionally imperfect, true to
indeed.
Yeah.
I had another one where I actually did his lightsaber, and that looked really good. But it was it had more text, and I didn't want to be distracted.
Because it could have been easy to just mirror flip, but
it could have been So
kept your artistic integrity.
Did the time, put the time in, so it looks good. So I actually, on that note, I want to get into.
Let's get into it.
Shadow Lord, because these 2 episodes, it's what in reviewing my notes on these, like very little actually happens in each episode, like for progressive plot progression, but how it's told, like it's not boring. Like these episodes, like in review, you're like, okay, so what actually happened? Okay, well, Maul revealed him, like Maul is on the planet and he has Vario, and you have these syndicates and stuff, and you're like, well, that took 20 minutes.
I feel like if they're going to be releasing 2 20-minute episodes every week, why not just release 1 40-minute episode every week? But it's marketing. Hey, we're giving you 2 episodes every week. Isn't that great? But
yeah, I think it's kind of strange, their release schedule, but
yeah. Oh, well.
Whatever.
It's good stuff. And it's everything is intentional with these release schedules, because guess what day the finale is premiering? May the 4th.
Makes sense.
Which they've done.
It's going to be a good day.
They've done things like that for the last, 5 years at least?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. It's not that we have like a Star Wars holiday, but that should be it,
I think, May the 4th, the joke got very old for me very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure it will continue. And the bright side is we will always probably get some content released to us on that day. Is that when the Mandalorian movie comes out?
What gets me is people that wish you a May the 4th typically are not diehard Star Wars fans.
Right.
They're more passive. Like my mom, she'll send us like May the 4th GIFs on, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I've always been more of a Revenge of the 5th fan myself. But,
or Revenge of the 6th.
Or Revenge of the 6th. I think either one could work. But is May the 4th?
It's like a holiday week,
Yeah. Is May the 4th when the Mandalorian movie is coming out?
That's a good question. I think so. I had it in my calendar.
Yeah, we'll have to verify, because I'm sure we're going to have to be involved somehow.
True. We're going to, I actually have a project right now on my 3D printer. I'm going to be, let me not go into details, but yeah, I'll show you next when it's done.
Okay.
Yeah. But right. in honor of Mandalorian and Grogu.
Nice.
But
all right. Let's, and that's a whole other discussion for another time. But
I would say let's take a break before we actually dive in here to episode 3, because there's not a lot, but I kind of want to keep it focused.
All right, we'll be right back.
So before we get into this, I want to just talk about the planet that all of this is happening. Because if you don't,
a lot of things are happening on our planet right now, Dave. Earth is in shambles. Where do you want to start?
No, so this entire series is taking place really centered around the planet Janix. And I think in a lot of opening sequences and stuff, people thought it was Coruscant. I know I did.
100%. Yeah. Anyway.
So Janix is a new planet that was created by Matt Michnovetz in one of the Maul, like the 2022, I think, released a Maul comic series. And that's where they introduced this planet. Now, he said in an interview that Janix is 1 part Gotham, 1 part Metropolis, but 100% Star Wars. So it's a city essentially built at the crater of a planet that's untouched by the Empire. It's got a functioning democracy, law enforcement. They're doing a good job of like protecting themselves. It's a rich environment for crime and gangsters. So it's like this perfect backdrop for this syndicate, for this kind of this story to evolve, which is kind of nice to have that clean slate, but it keeps it a little bit more grounded.
I would have liked to have seen more of the Gotham influence personally, because it is so very similar to Coruscant that the fact that I'm only just now in this moment processing that it's not
I wish
volumes.
They had clarified that a little bit more. And this is kind of one of the problems with having a universe so big, is that if you don't read the comics and you don't read the books and you don't watch the behind the scenes, then you don't know the lore. So it's kind of hard for passive fans to get into it and feel engaged. I wish they had done a little bit more to do that.
Take what you can get.
But let's just dig into this real quick. So in the last episode, we find out that Devon is a Jedi. She escapes prison. So we jump right into back at Maul's lair. She escapes, and they knew that she was going to. So Maul is there waiting with a cup of tea, very like Japanese tea ceremony set up. And his goal, you can just kind of tell, his goal is to make Devon his Padawan.
Well, I thought he was going to do the Princess Bride cup switch off situation, by the way it was all set up. I would have liked to have seen that. It's well done. And I'm surprised so far at how many good lines we are getting from Maul in this scene. This is going to be a hard line to top throughout the series for me. He says, "I can tell you're settled on who I am. Would you like me to be that person?" Ooh, chills. And I can not come anywhere close to how he does it with that voice, but that was great.
No, of course, Sam Witwer, the sound design and the voice acting in this is super top notch. And I want to talk about the audio engineering a little bit later.
Okay.
But obviously the script writing for this was not AI generated,
Yeah. Well, my gripe is that we've seen this before, where, we got Dark Lord, good Jedi template, and, you may not realize it, but you're going to join my side eventually. It's well done here. It's just that we've seen it so many times before, way back going to Return of the Jedi with Palpatine and Luke Skywalker. We've just seen it, and that's tiring. So that's why I wasn't too invested, but the dialogue and the animation and action sequence is what makes it worth watching.
I'm pleasantly surprised with the pacing too, because like in The Acolyte, it was just so slow. And then the fight scenes, even then, they were good. They were like a handful, but overall, it was just, again, very draggy.
Yeah.
The pacing feels very natural.
I'm jumping around here because we don't have much time to recap this. But Captain Lawson, he goes to his son's lacrosse game. It's like not even trying to pretend that it's not lacrosse.
Space lacrosse, yeah.
Yeah. And also his son's name is Riley. And I'm thinking to myself, Riley Lawson is a surprisingly white name for a Star Wars character. What are we doing here? He's going to his son's lacrosse game.
Okay, but conversely, the Mandalorian, like Maul's right-hand girl, her name is Rook. Oh, I had it here a second ago.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the most made-up name I could ever imagine. And it's like, well, okay.
Yeah. But it leads me to, you had mentioned the audio engineering, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that, because one thing I noticed about this series in comparison to the other Star Wars animated series, the voice acting, apart from Sam Witwer, it's distracting for me.
Really?
I am not really a fan of the voice acting on this series thus far, apart from what you called him, Birdman, Devon's master. He's great. And I looked up.
Yeah.
I looked him up.
He's done. Actually, I had him here. Dennis Haysbert.
Yes.
So he's done a lot of like voice acting for
he's
games,
a big character
movies.
Actor. Yeah. But apart from him and Sam Witwer, particularly the scenes between Captain Lawson and his son, it really comes across as I can picture these actors in a recording booth. Dad, you're never home. Maybe I'll go stay with mom. No, son. I don't want you to stay with your mother. But dad, are you going to come to my lacrosse game? Of course, I would not miss this for the world, son.
Okay, it wasn't that bad, but
yes, it was.
I feel you. I think they just overplayed the tense, awkward relationship, and they lost that kind of like more meaningful side of things.
Yeah.
So,
but what's your point on the audio engineering?
So, well, number one, Sam Witwer actually, when he was in the booth doing recording, he took a marker and he drew Maul like tattoos. I mean, marker tattoos on his face. One, to get into character, but two, to help the animators get his facial features right for how he said things, for how his facial expressions would show up on camera. And that actually, cool. I think that gave the animators a lot more meat when it came to the animation. I don't think, as far as I know, none of the other voice actors went that far into character. But a couple of other cool things about this sound design, they actually, and you've probably seen on social media, it hit yesterday. It was getting really popular. They included some of Sam Witwer's like screams into his lightsaber. So you'll hear sometimes when Maul swings his blade, you'll hear kind of a, that kind of screaming. And you're like, what's going on? And it's actually.
Do that sound again?
Yeah.
Well, then, yeah, I was confused because at the end of episode 3, so it's leading to his big confrontation with Devin. And again, we all know where this is going. Yes, she's going to have a moment of anger and, she's not going to be able to stop thinking about that. And I'm sure it's going to fester. Did we watch Rebels, Ezra's arc? Anyway. But I've got the subtitles on, and it was I think it was at the very end of their confrontation where he takes the lightsaber back. The subtitles said, Maul's lightsaber speaks alien language.
Yes.
Okay. I don't think I've seen that before.
That was a first. Yeah. I was like, it's a living and breathing thing.
The lightsabers, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. Come back. Yeah.
I do, if I remember correctly, in one of the things I read, that because he used a synthesized crystal, he actually made a crystal from his hate. So it's an ancient Sith technique to basically focus all your hate, and it makes like a lightsaber crystal. Because
and again, we got a great line from him in this confrontation. He said, "It's not that you're afraid; it's that you're weak." Man, we're getting some great one-liners from him.
This guy knows. We find out a couple of other things. So Uncle Dacky goes and talks to Lawson, so they become besties. Basically, he's like, "Hey, can you help me find my niece? I know where she is." And Lawson's like, "I can't tell you because you're, a civvy. I'm a cop."
So you want me to find your Twi'lek niece?
Two Boots reveals that Lawson's former ex-wife, works for the Empire. We have some more of this drama with the Pike headquarters. So Maul sets up a deal where Vario is going to take, the whole thing is a sting. He's going to take some back payment to the Pikes. But basically Maul, Maul is going to, have that whole thing.
Where it's going. Yeah.
Going to try to assassinate like the Pikes and stuff. So this whole back and forth with these rival gangs. Devin escapes. They have a nice little fight sequence between Maul and Devin.
I liked it. Yeah.
But she's, low-level Padawan. Maul is Maul. So again, she eventually finds the exit, so she runs away. That's it for episode 3.
And we got to fly through our episode 4.
Let's just jump right into it. Again, not a lot happens, but the storytelling is really good.
Yeah. I liked the arc with Two Boots in this because Two Boots is programmed, I'm assuming, to be loyal to the Empire. And so one of his running arcs throughout is we need to call in Imperial reinforcements. We have to. And Lawson does not want to do that. And it gets to the point where Two Boots is reassigned to desk duty And yeah, it was interesting to see that play out.
So I'm trying to, because basically they tell it kind of piecemeal, which is really, again, the storytelling is really good. But Maul takes Vario and they go to the Pike stronghold. They do this whole ploy to get inside, but Maul eventually unalives the Pike leader.
Well done.
He puts their chief of the guard in command.
Yeah. That's another crime lord that he's done away with. Yeah. Because who's the little guy who
and
thought
that's his
he was...
line. He's like, this is what happens when you betray me.
Who's the little guy that sold him out? Vario, duh. Vario just keeps on going. But he says, let them know I was the one who handed Maul over to you. And it wasn't. It was, I don't think we know the guy's name. His lookalike.
Well, so Vario stuns him. It stuns one of Maul's henchmen. I think he's unnamed for the majority of the show. I don't know if we're going to get his name, but he's like one of the main sidekicks. But actually, I love that whole sequence. So they have Maul's sidekick pretends to be Maul. They stun him. They take him into the throne room. And then Maul shows up, not stunned. He's perfectly fine. He does a whole bunch of force manipulation. It's really cool. Mm-hmm. Then eventually, basically, so the Pikes are now under the control of the Shadow Syndicate. Yep. So you have that whole thing. Maul's getting his revenge on these crime lords. Back on Janix, Devin finds Daki. So Devin tells him where Maul's lair is. Daki goes ahead and calls in a tip to the police commissioner's, hotline. Says, "Hey, I know where Maul is." So Lawson gets a strike team. They leave Two Boots behind. They have a raid on Maul's lair, and it just goes sideways. They know they were expecting them, so there's this huge shootout. Maul offers to Lawson beforehand. He has a little video conference with him, and he's like, "Look, I don't want the Empire. You don't want the Empire. Let's have a deal. You leave me alone. I won't bother you. Stay out of my business. And we won't have the Empire here." And Lawson's like, "Can't do that."
And Devin's curiosity has predictably been awakened. She said, "No, we could find Maul right here, right now." And Daki's like, "Look, I know, I get it, but no." And so that it's fueled by revenge and anger to a certain extent.
So eventually Daki and Devin, they agree. They're like, "Okay, let's finish this here. Let's find Maul. Let's end him." So they head down to the lair. They have this talk. Maul is like, "Yeah, I was expecting you, Devin. Your curiosity was piqued, and as expected, you brought your master. So nice to meet you." But eventually they realized, and I love like Daki, he keeps going on about, he's like, "We'll bring you to justice." And like the Jedi's ideals are to help people. And Maul, I just love Sam Witwer's just dialogue here. Maul is just like so done with the Jedi ideology.
Yeah.
You can just hear, he's like, "You are just so blind." Mm-hmm. And it's like he's had this conversation a dozen times before with who knows how many other Jedi,
Well, you can tell he's done with the Jedi ideology and also the Sith ideology. He's just fed up, period. So that is what makes him intriguing to watch.
Yeah. But they have conflicting morals on the subject. A lightsaber fight ensues, and this was intense. It was, I know in past Maul animated series, they have it very realistic, like realistic speeds for the fight. This, they didn't hold back. Like this was definitely like Jedi speed lightsaber combat, which was really nice. But eventually, sorry.
No, you go.
So Maul eventually defeats Daki. He does the classic wounded chest pose. So Daki and Devin, they flee. Extra cop reinforcements show up. So then Spybot is like, "All right, time to go." So they leave. So Maul's whole cohort escapes. But Lawson does get one good kick in on Maul's, I forget who. They get one good kick on Maul's leg. So now you know something's up with his knee. He's got a bum knee.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's got a torn ACL.
He's poor Maul. Poor Maul has that knee-ish, that old football.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do appreciate how they are leaning into the darker aspects of this whole character and this whole series. This is probably one of the first Star Wars animated series that doesn't seem to have any for the kids moments. Maybe apart from Vario. I think he's like,
I was a little surprised. A lot of the combat, there's been a couple of scenes where I'm like, whoa, they let this in on this kids show?
Yeah. We don't have any Omega, that's my strategy moments.
Nothing is graphic, but it is implied. And you're like, oh, that's a little...
Probably much. The closest we're going to get to an Andor animated series.
Yeah.
Like this is as pretty... adult as it will get for one of the Star Wars animated.
But I mean, some of the later Clone Wars series, they got a little bit, a little dark.
They were wonderful.
So it's nice to see this kind of this Gotham vibe continue.
Right. And so then where did that leave us at the end here? So
all the way at the end, so the Maul and his gang are fleeing. The cops are upset that they lost Maul. Docky and Devin are like walking away. They're all bummed out because now Docky's like, I failed you. And Devin's like, no, I failed you. But then you hear something.
And Docky's like that's right, you did.
So Spybot calls Maul and he's like, hey, we got a problem. And you hear the chitter of an Imperial probe droid in the background. Mm-hmm. And of course, the closing shot of the whole episode is an Imperial Star Destroyer flying over the planet Janix. So the whole implication here is that Two Boots, once he got powered back up, he followed his protocol and he called the Empire. So now Maul's going to be upset the Empire. Lawson's bummed out the Empire. I mean, even Devin.
Yeah.
And them. Everyone's bummed now that the Empire is present. Yeah.
It's funny how we can have a droid like R2-D2 who has like a fully developed conscience and can decide which side to remain loyal to, but then we can have droids like Two Boots who are just going to follow protocol no matter what. Yeah.
It's this was a stirring episode. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I would recommend that you go back and watch it. Yeah, especially episode 4, Pride and Vengeance. It was quite a ride. If nothing else, then the lightsaber fights.
Yeah, there's not a dull moment, and I appreciate what they're doing thus far. Were we already halfway through? Or
halfway through?
Yeah. So
because it's an 8-episode series, and we're already.
I didn't know if it was 8 or 10. So we got,
episode guide 10 episodes.
Okay, there is 10 episodes. Yes, because we got the finale on May the 4th. So
we have 3 weeks left.
Yeah,
so it's coming up fast. This whole series has been really good. The artwork has been beautiful. The music.
I love the artwork so much. Yeah,
I don't think we talked about it too much last week, but the use of Duel of the Fates.
Actually,
no, that was episode 3. So the fight sequence between Devin and Maul, they had like a remixed version of Duel of the Fates, and it was epic.
They had a little motif of actually Battle of the Heroes in her fight with Maul. I was like, da, 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 da. I was like, oh, that's not Duel of the Fates. Now we're in Battle of the Heroes. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I might have to fact check it, but
I would. I just know it from Star Wars Battlefront. I'm like, this is the music.
Yep.
Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for tuning in, folks. Thanks for commiserating with us. Be sure to follow us on all of our socials at Mysteries on Demand. Subscribe to us on YouTube. And next week, we will be back to recap Maul episodes 5 and 6. Looking forward to seeing what's in store there. Dave, say goodbye.
So happy to have you all with us, but we're looking forward to getting with you next week. Bye-bye!